So Audi is asking you a question. Do you care more about range or how quickly you can get that range back? And if you care more about how quickly you can gain that range back, they have a vehicle for you. It's this. This is the all-new, all-electric Audi E-tron. This is the German automaker's first attempt at a battery electric, pure electric, not a hybrid. There's no hidden gas engine anywhere. Under the skin of this e-tron is a 1,500-pound battery pack, and it sends its hot electron juice to either the front or rear motor, depending on how you're driving it. In standard driving mode, it makes 355 horsepower and just over 400 pound-feet of torque. Now there is an optional boost mode. I have this in, well, as soon as I do it via the drive select system, I move this to dynamic. I make sure the shifter is in sport mode. And then when the road is straight, I can push the throttle down past the kick down and you engage boost mode. Now you engage that for up to 8 seconds and that jumps the power output to 490 pound-feet of torque. It's a good bit of thrust that gets you going, but you only get it in those situations. So there's no ludicrous mode, there's no insanity mode, there's just a little bit more juice. And it's fun, and when you're in that mode, this would be able to run from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, according to Audi's numbers. Now, just driving it normally, we've been shuttling this around. By the way, this is Lynn. Say hi to Lynn, everybody. Lynn works at Kelley Blue Book. We started in Napa, then we went to Sacramento to experience some DC fast charging, and now we're on our way to Tahoe. So Audi wanted to give us a bit of fairly normal driving and then a bit of a mini road trip after that. So the fairly normal driving was just basic standard highway and around town stuff on the way to Sacramento, and now we're putting some serious elevation on the wheels of this thing. I think at our highest point we're gonna clear 8,000 feet above sea level. We are at 2,750 right now, and obviously you don't have to worry about the air up here because electric motors. So when you are just motoring around, the steering has a nice heft to it, but this is no Audi sports car. This is just a regular e-tron. Yes, I've asked if there's an S or an RS version in the future, and there are some coy smiles, and stay tuned. There might not be the performance version of this e-tron sports utility vehicle, but other EVs are coming down the road. In fact, someone at Audi at dinner mentioned that in 5 years' time, they believe that up to 30% of their volume will be electric vehicles, which frankly seems a bit ambitious, but it's also interesting to note that they are diving headfirst into the EV game. And it is time as more automakers bring their electric offerings online. Mercedes has the EQC, BMW has a few offerings. Hyundai, if you don't need a premium vehicle, has an excellent choice in the Kona Electric. Now, the downfall, and this gets back to the question I asked you in the beginning, do you prefer a lot of range right from the gate, or do you want it to charge quickly? The EPA estimated range on this Audi e-tron is just 204 miles, which compared to the competition isn't that great. The Jag I-Pace gets more. The Tesla offerings offer more. The Hyundai I mentioned gets more. So there are, if you're concerned mostly about range, there are other offerings out there. But this is the first vehicle that will be able to charge at 150 kilowatt DC fast chargers. And those are just rolling out across the country. So you can get from 0 to 80 in under 30 minutes on one of those DC fast chargers, which is nice. If you're on the move, you're on the go, you say you stop at a Starbucks or somewhere that has one of those chargers rolled out, you can get back on the road fairly quickly. Now, Audi has teamed up with a company called Electrify America, which by July of 2019 plans to have over 484 DC fast charging sites spread throughout the country. And when you buy one of these, they're giving you 1,000 kilowatt hours of credit. So that's, say, up to about 10, 0 to 100% charges for free on their dime, and that's kind of nice. If you were to charge this at home, though, these do come standard with a 9.6 kilowatt charging system. So if you pay to upgrade your home, or if you already have the right outlet, you can plug it in on a 240 volt outlet. But if you don't have that, you can get one of those installed. Actually, Audi made that easy too, because you can go to Amazon.com/Audi charging and you can book a local electrician to come in and set up your home for that plug. Once you have that plug, you can charge one of these overnight, no problem at all. I think it's like 8 hours or something, maybe even it's 9. It's 9 hours, thank you. it's 9 hours to go from empty to full, and then most of the time you're not going to be returning home empty anyway. So range anxiety shouldn't really hit in most cases, in most use cases, and in most customers. You're really not going to be running into a lot of range anxiety issues, or at least you shouldn't. Sorry, this cop whipping just caught my eye. Now on the braking side of this, there are 3 different regen modes. Well, actually there's more than that. There's an automatic mode that adjusts the regen based on, this is kind of neat, whether the traffic in front of you is slowing down, whether you have a route planned on your nav. It thinks ahead and knows when to drag a little bit, and it's not doing it by the brakes. It's doing it through the motor, not through the hydraulic braking system. It's dragging the actual electric motor itself. And then if you go all the way into the hydraulic braking and activate that, that's another level of regen beyond that. You don't have to have the automatic system turned on though. You can dive in through the MMI, and this has Audi's latest infotainment, so very nice, easy to read screens with a few extra EV-based tricks like your range and all that kind of thing, and your charging status, battery status. But you can turn that off and just set up different levels of regen right here from the paddles on the steering wheel if you prefer that. Now, another neat feature with this infotainment system is that if you put a destination in, it will tell you where the chargers are, and it can help you plan a route if you're taking a longer journey, where you should stop, if those chargers are in use, just the general sort of information that would be very helpful for the EV driver. How long will it take in a 110 volt situation?
80 hours.
80 hours.
80 hours.
So when you buy this, pay the electrician to upgrade your home electricity and use the onboard charger that does come standard. So that's good. I love this blue paint they're offering. I like the optional 21-inch wheels. They look really nice. They're slick, multi-spoke wheels. They wrap them in all-season tires, which is fine. It's an Audi Quattro. This is the first use of electric Quattro, by the way, which instead of having one system metered out through all 4 wheels, you have 2 motors so they can do it more precisely, which is kind of a slick little trick. And that rhymed. Now, Audi's not going to just give these away. This slots in size between a Q5 and a Q8, Q7. So it's not a cheap vehicle. It's not inexpensive. So the base price of the Premium Plus, or whatever the hell Audi calls their trim system, is right around $75,000 before any federal tax credits, which this is eligible for. There's a Prestige trim, which adds a few more nice features. I believe you get an upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound system in that one as well. And that one costs $81,000 before those same tax credits. So not cheap, but it is a very nice electric vehicle. So it's not cheap, but it is good. It has great on-road manners. They all come standard with Audi's air suspension, so the ride is nice. The braking you'll get used to. It's a little weird at first, but it does grab right away, which is kind of cool. But it's a regen system, so if you've driven other regens, you'll at least have an idea of what's going on underneath your foot. This has a good amount of adjustability through the Drive Select system. You can raise the suspension about up to 2 inches over the base setting, or down an inch below the base setting if you're at speed on the highway or for an ingress-egress situation. So it just all circles back to how you feel about range anxiety, how you're going to drive it, and if it matters more to you that, yes, it has a lower end amount of range available, or if that it's one of the fastest charging vehicles currently on the market. So which of those is more important to you? It's cool looking, it's got nice wheels, it's comfortable and quiet inside, it's a well-built Audi. It just could maybe use a little bit more range, but as I'm seeing on my drive here, I mean, I'm going from Napa to Tahoe up over the mountains. We did stop at a DC fast charger and charge it up while we had lunch, and then we're back on the road. So I am almost leaning more towards having the ability to charge quickly as being a benefit for something you're going to use on a daily basis. If you're a long-haul driver anyway, you're probably not looking at EVs as it sits. But if your commute is kind of around town and just general driving, this is a pretty good option, especially in boost mode. Curb.
Off-road.
Sorry, Audi.
Off-road capable.
Audi is prepared to ask you a very interesting... Shut up! Oh,
Nav system.
jeez, you're right. Putting out a lot of heat from my undercarriage. That stuff, I'm just fucking this all up.
Hey, and there's a car.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, it's fire.
Fire.
Don't worry about
You have the power here.
it. What are you doing, jurisdictions on?
All right. Hold on, my allergies are acting up again. I am gross today.